Hi third graders, today we're doing math lesson 1.12. In your math journal, you will turn to page 23 and we'll be doing journal page 23, 24, and 25. So let's start with the mini lesson. Let's think about frames and arrows. If I have numbers and there is an unknown pattern going on, because I know from 17 to 19 to 21, that's not the way I count. So I need to think about the pattern. How did they go from 17 to 19? If you need to use your number chart, you can. If I start at 17, I have to hop twice to get to 19. So that would be adding 2. All right, well, let's look from 19 to 21. Did they do the same thing? 1, 2. They did. So I see the pattern here is going up by 2s. So then I can see the next thing in the pattern. 23, 2 hops, 25. Let's try one more. Here's a different pattern. I like to draw the little caret. How do they get from 25 to 29? Now, if I don't use a number chart and I have numbers like this, I sometimes will do a little tally myself. If I don't know it offhand, I'll go like this: 25, 26, 27, 28, 29. Ooh, they added 4. Let me see if that's the same thing they added here. 29, 30, 31, 32, 33. Yes, they went up by 4s. So now I know the rest of the pattern. All right, now you're going to open your journal. You're going to do the same thing. You're going to figure out, how does the pattern go up? For number 1, for number 2. When you get to number 3, the pattern starts here, and when you go forward in the pattern, if the pattern is going up, you would go up. But when you move backwards in a pattern, you're doing the opposite of what you were doing. So if you look here, and I was adding 2, when I go backwards in the pattern, I'm doing the opposite of adding, which is subtracting 2. So that's what you're going to have to know how to do when you get here. Figure out the pattern, then keep going, and then go backwards to figure out these ones. Now, if the pattern, like this one, goes from 36 to 33, this pattern is going down. They're subtracting. Figure out how many they're subtracting, and then when you go backwards, you'll add them. All right, now we get to the frames and arrows. The frames and arrows are very similar to the top. The rule is to add 5. So we're going to go 10, add 5, add 5, add 5, follow the arrows, and fill in how many cents. Number 6, add by 10. If you need to use your number chart, otherwise you know the pattern. The tens place is the one that's following the pattern. All right, let's go to number 7. Let's do this one together. They're at 7, and then there's something empty. They go from 15 to 19. Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to figure out, how did they go from 15 to 19? That's going to give me the rule or the pattern. And then remember, I can keep following the rule as we go this way, but when I get to the end, the rule is going to do the opposite. So the rule here is plus something. Then when you go backwards to figure out these ones, you're going to do minus. All right, here it says double. Okay? When you double a number, you add it plus itself. So if I'm going to double the number 1, I do 1 plus 1 and get 2. If I'm going to double 5, I do 5 plus 5 and get 10. When you double a number, all you do is you add it twice. I could double 100 and I'd get 200. So when you're doubling a number, all you have to do is add that number 2 times. Number 9, you're going to make up your own rule. All right, let's keep going. All right, for the next page, Here, remember you have your number grid puzzles. They always follow the same pattern as the number chart. We always, when we move down, are going up by tens. When we're moving up, we're going down by tens. When we move over one, we're just moving by ones. Okay, even if the numbers are bigger, they still follow the same rule. If you want, you can skip this part for today. Here, try this. Ooh, I love a little challenge. So let's see what they're doing here. They go from a 4 to a 14. How do we go from a 4 to a 14? Well, I know that from 4 to 14 they added a 10. So this one's plus 10. Okay, now they went to a 24. Yep, they definitely added 10 here. But then something happens because all of a sudden they go to a 22. So from a 24 to a 22 is not plus 10. How do you get from 24 to 22? Yes, you had to take away 2. Then they go from 22, they go to 32. And that isn't minus 2, but that's the 10's changing. That's plus 10. You're going to start seeing a pattern. Plus 10, minus 2. Plus 10, see if the pattern keeps going. Sometimes the pattern isn't going to go just plus 10, plus 10, plus 10, plus 10, plus 10. You have to look closely each time to make sure the pattern goes in that order. See if you can fill out the rest of the pattern here. All right, the last thing you have to do today is you have to do your journal on page 25. So it looks like you are going to be writing the number that is 100 more. All right, so what I always tell kids is go through, find that 100 spot and highlight it. That's the one that's going to be changing. Now there are 2 on here that will be affected by them being a 9. Okay, so pause the video, do number 1, and then I will do just those tricky ones with you. See if you got them right. So pause the video, do number 1, then come back on, and we're just going to do those 2 tricky ones together once you try yourself. All right, hopefully you have them done. You can correct. So 994. If we're going to just add 100 here, these ones are going to stay the same. That pattern's going to start over. It's going to go to a 0, and it's going to give this one 1 more. So now we're going to be at 1094. Now if I'm not good at that pattern stuff, the other thing I could do is I could go 994 plus 100. And I could just add. I know that these are going to give me, and then a 9 plus a 1 gives me a 10. And look at that, I get the same answer. So now you know the answer for this one. Okay, let's do the same thing with the 3,965. I know it's going to be this one that's going to change. Remember the pattern. It's going to go back to a 0, but it's going to make this one change from a 3 to a 4. These ones stay the same. They're not affected by the hundreds place. Okay, keep going today. Number 2, you're going to find the median. Remember, the median. You're going to find the median. Yes, you're right, the median is the middle. Now to find the middle number, I have to put all the data in order from either biggest to smallest or smallest to biggest. So I'm just gonna go, okay, Lisa here had 1. So I'm done with Lisa. Okay, Jen had 2. Mark had 3. All right, and then we go to Joe. Joe has 5. And then Inez has 6. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to find the middle number. Shh, shh. There you go. Remember, maximum is the biggest number. You're going to find the maximum. Number 3, you're going to write 5 names for 0. That should be easy. Number 4, describe 2 events that are almost sure to happen. You are absolutely sure that this could happen. Like, I am sure that Saturday comes after Friday. I'm sure that's going to happen. Okay? I'm sure that when someone is counting, they know that 1, the next number would be 2. You're sure, you're absolutely sure these things are going to happen. Okay? Down here, which group is ordered from largest to smallest? So look carefully, largest to smallest. Fill in your blank here with your number model. Think of that fact family triangle. Okay, and then make up your own unit there. Thanks for following along. Have a great math day today. Remember to practice your math facts.